Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Ali of Where's Ali. I am the eccentric nomad. Today you guys, I am going to give you a city comparison from Ecuador. I'm going to give you two cities that I think match up pretty closely or had the things that I like the best and give you a comparison. That's going to be Cuenca and Manta today you guys. But before we do that, I want to ask you, if you enjoy my content, to click that like button, that subscribe button, that share button, or there's no share button, but share it with a friend, and click that notification bell you guys so you get notified when I post a new video. My channel is primarily about travel stuff, everything travel along my journey as an eccentric nomad who's solo, over 50, black woman out here doing what I can and hoping that my story encourages others like yourself to start your own personal journey, to get up off the couch, out the house, into the car, bus, train, plane, boat, whatever it is, so that you guys get started. All right, let me do my quote. It's okay to be afraid to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Just don't get stuck in that fear, you guys. That is my universal quote. That's what I'm going with for today. So now let's get started talking about Ecuador. These two cities, Cuenca and Manta. So first of all, why did I pick Cuenca and Manta out of all the different cities? Well, you may or may not know, you check my posts that I've already done in YouTube about some of the cities that I visited. Y'all may know I visited 7 cities while I was in Ecuador for 2 months. All right, so 7 cities, and out of the 7, there's 4 major cities I would say. That would be Quito, which is the capital, Guayaquil, which I didn't really go to, I just passed through, so just heads up about that, which is another reason why I really didn't talk about it. Manta and Cuenca. And out of those 4, I really enjoyed Manta and Cuenca probably the best, so those are the 2 that I'm going to compare today. And so, I do apologize you guys, I have had allergies all day, so if I have a stuffy red nose and I start to sound nasally, I apologize. That's what it is. My sinuses have been kicking my butt. But I was determined to make this video for you guys. Okay, so I kind of want to get into the things that I think, I look for when I'm evaluating a space, deciding if I'm going to stay longer than 2 weeks, a month, if I want to extend to 3 months, all of those kinds of different things. And these are just my thoughts and just my raw feelings about each place. And number one thing, y'all, this isn't necessarily in any specific order, but number one, weather. I am big on weather, you guys. And so just overall, Ecuador is very mild. It's a mild country based on its, I think, its proximity to the equator and where it's located in South America. Some of the cities can be colder because you've got the coast all the way through and in and around the mountains, and you got some of the rainforest there as well. So you got a little bit of everything mixed in with some city life. Okay, Cuenca is colder. Cuenca is closer to the mountains. You got to go through the mountains to get to Cuenca, matter of fact, okay? It is about 2,600, I think, feet above sea level. So that tells you it's a little bit higher, so it's going to be a little bit nippier. I think they do have, different seasons. I think it's really like 2 seasons. And it can get warm during the day. I was there during winter season, and during the day, like 3 hours of the day, it was pretty warm. And in the evening, it can get what seems to be really cold, especially if you're dressed for summer weather. Now, Manta, on the other hand, is a coastal town, you guys. So Manta being on the coast, it is one of those cities that even in the wintertime, it can have high 70s, 80 days. And even in the wintertime, I felt like it didn't ever really get cold. Like there were some nippier days, but it never really, even in the evening, ever really got cold. So number one, Manta for the win on weather. Cuenca isn't bad. I'm gonna tell you, it's not bad. It does just get cold at night. You do need some socks and some pants. So just FYI. All right, number 2, crime. Yeah, I'm not even gonna read any like major statistics because I feel like what I saw was semi-outdated in terms of what they were recording in the years they were recording. But I'll just give you my personal experience. Both places I didn't experience any type of situations, and yes, I did have my phone out. Yes, I was recording on the streets and stuff like that. I was aware and conscious. I can do a whole nother video on personal safety and stuff like that, what you can do, the best that you can do to make, you know, try to be as safe as possible and still live your life, you know. The other thing I paid attention to is, do locals walk around with their phones out? I watch locals walk around with money in their hand, counting money, like we're not even paying attention and stuff, and nobody bothering them in big parks. One of the things that I will tell you about both places, but something that I think I saw more so in Cuenca, is security guards everywhere, at restaurants, at parks, at bridges, and I mean, like, pretty much everywhere you would go, and I think anywhere you would go where there could be the potential of some sort of incident or whatever, they were there. Like, you went around the corner, you're like, so I was like, oh, okay, I was in Cuenca one night hanging out with a friend. We were sitting in the park, and it was probably about 10 p.m. and people go around trying to sell you things and all that, and we had said no continuously to this guy, no, and he like walked up talking in Spanish, and he was really upset. And at that moment, the cops saw him and reprimanded him for disrupting us. And, you know, we were very calm. We were just like, no, and because he kind of came hard. We didn't understand what he was saying, but no means no, right? And they got at him, and we were like, that's what you get. So yes, good experiences, no crime issues. Manta pretty much the same, but I feel like as much security, and I think that's mainly because there isn't just much to secure, so to speak. So when you are walking around, when I am walking around at night, it makes more sense for me to just look around and make sure that there's no one in front of me, behind me, that kind of thing. When I'm videoing or if I'm just walking around, I did walk home to and from Manta, my apartment in Manta, to restaurants and stuff were probably like 15-20 minutes away by myself at night after 10, 11, 12 o'clock, and never had any problems at all, you guys. So I would say from a crime perspective, it's pretty cool. Just know your surroundings. And I was never like in inland. I was always like on main streets and things like that. So all right, so I give both, number 2, they both get a check mark. All right, cost. Let's talk about cost. Overall, I feel like Ecuador is a cheaper place. Compared to some of the other countries I've been in the world, it's not the cheapest. All right, so it kind of depends on where you are. And this is one of those interesting things, because when you think of cost, you usually associate that with tourist presence, right? Ecuador is a touristy place if you're into more nature things and the beach. Other than that, it really just isn't super touristy. So with that being said, the 2 cities that I'm comparing are, to me, vast differences in terms of tourism. Manta, to me, is not a touristy place at all, and Cuenca is way more touristy. So now let's get into cost. Accommodations. Overall, I would say Cuenca is cheaper. I'm going to compare historical district in Cuenca, not the outskirts with the real touristy brand new apartments or anything. I'm going to compare the historical district where everybody goes to beachfront area in Manta, because those are the places where people would most likely, you know, kind of congregate, right? I could find on average in non-peak season in Cuenca, 1-bedroom apartment on Airbnb, which means that it's overpriced, on Airbnb for $540 a month, 1 room to 2 rooms. This was a 2-room with a bathroom, kitchen, all of that, for like $540 for a month. And it's, you know, full apartment right in the heart of the historical district. So on average, you can find things between $500, $700, $800 a month in Cuenca. Pretty easy. So if on an Airbnb, if it's that much, take 30% off of that, and that's probably what the average cost is for that place. Probably even a little bit less than that, right? And Manta, we're thinking about the beachfront area, we're going to up that a couple $100. So on average, in low season, you might find something you can find for $500 if you're lucky, if you're looking around, you know. But if we're going to do comparison 1-bedroom apartments with full kitchens and everything is included, yada yada, in a nice area, you're probably closer to the 750s to on up $750 to $1,200. Okay, for a 1-bedroom, probably you can find it around $900, something like that. Accommodation, I'm going to give it to Cuenca. So for food, I'm going to say Manta and Cuenca alike. You can find your fruits and vegetable type things. I would say Manta, you'll see more of the fruits and vegetables at the markets. I think the market's a little bit more accessible. There is one big market that I heard about that I didn't go to in Cuenca that everybody goes to, and it's got the the meat and the fruits and the vegetables and all of that kind of stuff in one space. You can get pretty much most of the things that you need at decent prices. Shopping, you can get pretty inexpensive. So they have places called supermarkets. They're like Walmart, and their local stores are cheaper than that. And then if you can find items on the street, like your perishable items, fruits and vegetables, it's even cheaper than that. Okay. Restaurants, I would say Cuenca has, number one, hands down, way more restaurants, way more restaurant options. I am plant-based, so it is really important if I'm going somewhere and I can't cook, I don't have a kitchen, that I need places that I can eat. And I had no problem finding places to eat in Cuenca. And the prices, I could get food for $4, $5, some including drinks in Cuenca. Full meals, enjoying myself. I could spend more as well, but that's not something that I could easily find in Manta with the variations that I saw in Cuenca. And I think it's because like Manta has no shortage of businesses. I just think there's very few people who seem to be out and about at these establishments. So either they're not open all the time, they don't open until late, things like that. So you know, there's little nuances that make a difference. So I would say from a food perspective, if I'm talking about restaurants, Cuenca gets the win. Because finding some awesome, authentic, eclectic plant-based dishes, y'all, is the bomb for me. All right, data's the same. It's transferable across cities, so both of them get a win for that. Transportation, taxis, ride shares. Manta, I would say, for example, if I'm going, let's say 10, 12 kilometers from the apartment I was in to the bus or to the airport would be anywhere from $5 to $6. Like I just called a taxi. If I did a ride share, it could be anywhere from $3 to $4, something like that. Now in Cuenca, on the other hand, for a ride share, and they use Uber or InDriver, you could use either. InDriver allows you to state your price and then a driver will accept it. You usually pay with cash with that one though. So, but with Cuenca, you could go say 10 kilometers and it would be $2, $1 to $2, like literally, and that's just with a taxi. Like if you just hail a taxi on the street, it's $1 to $2 on average. Now they do get you, if you pick up a taxi from the bus station or from the airport, they're probably gonna get you. Well, they got me. So just FYI, use your rideshare apps if you feel like, you know, there's a little bit of questionable pricing going on there. So I'm going to give Cuenca the win for that because I feel like it is a more robust city. And so, and the way that it's kind of set up, to me, most of Cuenca is walkable. But if you are going to have to take a taxi, it's nice because a couple bucks will get you pretty much anywhere you want to go. The other thing about Cuenca is they also have a train. They have a like inner city, like a metro train or whatever. So, and it goes from like the north end in the more ritzier suburb kind of looking area all the way through the historical district. So, and I think it actually goes to the, if not the airport, I think it goes to the bus station as well. And that's pretty inexpensive and you can purchase your tickets right on the street. All right. Hygiene, clothing, housewares, very comparable in both places. Both places have malls. What I will say is I found that shoes larger than size 8 and 9 for men and women is a scarcity. I think everybody there got little feet. But I will tell you this, ladies, if you are a little curvaceous, do not fret because the women there are thicker. Not all of them, but they have thick women. So you will find clothes that accentuate your perfect parts, okay? And this is both in Cuenca and in Manta. So that was something that I was really happy about. And prices are pretty reasonable, about the same price as what you'd find on Amazon. if that helps any, because you know we get our deals on Amazon. Spa services, I think they're about equal on both, but I probably shouldn't rate them because I didn't really use any spa services. But one thing I did find out from one of the people who live in Ecuador, in Manta, is that they could get their spa services in their apartment, so they would come to you, and that's a really awesome convenience. Buses from both places are pretty easy. Both places have airports accessible to them. Cuenca is about 7 hours from the beach, so if you want to go to the beach, you can catch a flight to Guayaquil and then take a bus over if you want to stay south. If you're wanting to go to Manta, just take plane from Cuenca to Manta. You can check to see what those prices are. It's not too bad, all right? And it's a pretty quick flight. Sorry, that was a bee coming to greet me and say hello. If you're doing the buses are a viable option as well. Cuenca's bus station ain't that great. I'm gonna be real. It's really not a nice bus station. Manta wins in terms of bus station. It is very clean, very neat, very nice. It's a large bus station. So that one is Manta gets the win for the bus station. So the next thing, and this is kind of about second to the last thing, is who has the better attractions? Well, I will tell you, Manta has no attractions. Outside of their city signs where the beaches are and the Malecon, they don't have attractions. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the city of Manta itself, there are really no attractions. Their parks are super teeny. I don't remember ever even seeing that there was a big park per se, but the biggest thing that they have there, I think that they have a lot of pride in, is their festivals. So whenever there's holidays, the festivals that they have are pretty massive, pretty big. They do have a really big fish market closer to the Turkey, I think is what it's called, beach. But outside of that, there's nothing there in terms of attractions and seeing things. You would need to go about 20 minutes south to Puerto Lopez to see the lighthouse and the beach there, and their beaches are nicer there, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, or go a little bit further north to take a look at you should go kind of inland where you can go hiking and different things like that. So because Manta is more of a beach town, beach city, it just has a nice city kind of built around it. The thing that draws you there are the beaches. Well, the issue with that is the beaches aren't super pretty. And this is just keeping it real. The beaches are okay? They're great for running. A lot of people swim there and everything, and it's beautiful water. But the sand is dirty. So it's literally dirty. You will look like you've been playing in dirt and not sand. The other part to know is the area where the nicer apartment complexes are, buildings, they walk right out to the beach, but when the tide is out, you can actually see all the rocks and what looks like coral rocks. So it's not soft rocks, they're smooth rocks, they're harder rocks. So if you are running barefoot along the beach and thinking you're going to jump into the ocean, please don't. Cuenca, let's get over to Cuenca. Cuenca has tons of attractions. They've got ruins that are within the city limits. They've got all these different monuments. They've got tons of street art. Beautiful, beautiful street art. Walking around the historical district is amazing. It's very cultural. They've got flower markets. This is the coolest thing is you see people literally buying flowers every day. I think that might be a little overpriced, but that was really cool to see. The plazas are there with the different signs and stuff, and the way they light the buildings up at night, different things. It's just a more exciting, more vibrant kind of place, and you actually can get to other attractions fairly easy from there. There's a lot of different types of mountain types of events, probably about an hour out, maybe not even that much, and you can go hiking in the mountains. They have some spas that are within an hour and a half to 2 hour drive from the center city of Cuenca. Just a plethora of different things that you can actually do just walking around town, which is very safe. The different areas of the town is pretty awesome thing to do as well. So I would say all in all, if I were going to select which one is better for attractions, hands down Cuenca. Hands up, hands down Cuenca. Last but not least is the dating, relationships, familial, community. In Ecuador, I feel like this is a Latin American thing. Yes, they got the familial, the family, the community thing on lock, 100%. Both places, lots of PDA. So if you're into PDA, it's a place to go. Latin America is a place to be for PDA. But what I will say, piggybacking off of the comment around the attractions and the vibe in each city, Manta, it's for an older crowd. There are young people, tons of local young people, but for people who are immigrating like us or looking for places to stay longer term, I would say that Manta is slower. It's slower. Most of the people that you're going to find there that are hanging out or out exploring, I mean, not exploring, but most of the people that you're going to see out and about that are, expatriating, immigrating, visiting, and things like that are older couples. Most of the people I saw were coupled up or had been there for a long time, and you know what I mean? So it wasn't really a place where it's easy to be in a dating community unless you use the apps or you're in some groups, which I ended up meeting a great group family from Facebook, and went to movies and things like that together. But from a dating perspective, I mean, I feel like it was pretty much null and void. It was non-existent there. And I was there for 2 months, right? So that's what it felt like to me. While on the other hand, in Cuenca, I was only there for a week and a half, if that. Yeah, a little over a week, a few days over a week, I think. But I plan on extending another month. I really wanted to extend another month had I not have committed to my accommodations in Manta. And that's because that was one of the reasons. It's because the opportunity to organically meet people without being a part of a group was just so much more prevalent, and it seemed so much easier to do. And it was because of the vibe and the energy of the city. If you've ever been to Europe, Spain, like Barcelona, Madrid, Portugal, places like that, Cuenca has that feel, definitely. And it's one of those places that you literally can go in or just walk around. And I think even though it's still set up with that kind of familial, tabling and things like that, it's easier to be in a place and kind of talk across tables and meet people. And I think you find more people who speak English as well. And that's one of the things that you'll get from my other videos around what is the official language spoken. And so it is a little bit tougher to walk in and just not know the language and just join in a group. So take your Spanish lessons, you guys. But I would just say just the vibe and the energy just gives you that feel, that the opportunity to engage with people who you can have some relationships with, whether it's business, personal, or intimate relationships. I think there's a greater chance for that in Cuenca. So Cuenca gets the win for that, y'all. Cuenca gets the win. All in all, I feel like a couple little things. Cuenca, with the police presence everywhere. Oh, they clean up their dog poo. The streets are pretty clean there, where in Manta, they're not, and you'll smell it in Manta. But in Cuenca, I felt like, I don't know if there's an ordinance like we have in the States or what, but, people did walk around with baggies and clean up their poo. There were places where they did not, of course, but for the most part, when you're walking down the streets were clean. There's a lot of things to just walk around and do. I felt like I had the energy and, to get up and move about and explore, because there were things to explore. Even just simply walking down to the river, and they have like 2 major rivers that run through the center of town kind of area. I think there's 2. And it's just nice. You could just go down there, and it's like a whole new world when you get to the river. you're in a whole nother area, and it just feels different. They have a park, and people walk around the parks, and you know, and exercise and stuff. So I think there's just more opportunity to, you know, meet different people, different ways, whether you're wanting to meet people at coffee shops. I think it's a little bit set up in a way that you can actually achieve that. Overall, Cuenca gets the win. I love all my family in Manta that I met and hung out with, even with the people that at the, you know, local bar around the corner, because there was one that I went to regularly. They were fantastic. I loved them. But I just think overall, if you're looking for high energy, high spirit, just a high flow, Cuenca is probably the place to go. If you had to pick between those two places, that's the place to go. Check back for my other comparisons on a few other cities, specifically coastal cities. And I may throw Quito in the mix as well, you guys. Make sure you check back to hear about my thoughts on Cali, Colombia. You guys, I was only supposed to be here for 1 week. I've been here I'm going on 3 weeks now. So, yeah, this is week number 3, you guys. Make sure you click that subscribe button, click that like button. Sorry about that. That like button. Share it with some friends and click that notification bell, you guys. I appreciate you supporting me and my growth on my channel. And I check back because I'm going to have more videos for you coming soon. You guys know the drill. Toodles and noodles, peace and hair grease.